Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Over Ask. Today we have Eric. I know I say this every time, but I mean it more than I've ever meant to before. We have a very special guest today. We have a very, very special guest. He is a real estate investor, house flipper, e-commerce doer, financial guru guy. I think he's everything. He's everything and more. Ryan Pineda is on the show. We are so stoked to have him on. Ryan, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here. I love watching your guys' content. It cracks me up, dude.
Well, we appreciate it. Ryan, for people who may not know you, which I feel like isn't many at this point, can you kind of give us your elevator pitch?
The 3-minute version. Used to play pro baseball. Got drafted by the Oakland A's. Did not make it to the big leagues, and so I had to get a job. And I actually became a realtor in 2010, and I hated being a realtor and showing clients around. Pretty much all your memes I resonate with.
I hate it
especially. Yeah, I just was like, dude, this is not for me. Started flipping houses in 2015, and that went really well. I maxed out all my credit cards to do it, and thankfully it worked out. Made 25 grand on my first flip. Since then, we just kept flipping and flipping and flipping, and eventually we just started doing over 100 a year. And we've been kind of maintaining that pace for the last, I would say, 4 years. But along with that, started a bunch of companies, like you mentioned, along the way. E-com company. We've got over 300 e-commerce stores we manage. I started a real estate brokerage, even though it's not something I personally like to do. We have 150 agents that we're actually switching over, which I could talk about later. We have a CPA company with 300 plus, or I don't even know how many clients we have, but mainly in real estate, investors and agents. What else do we got? A fund. So we just bought 334 units in Georgia, and we're buying 126 units in Iowa. And then I do a whole bunch on social media. So, just making content like you guys and, seeing the power of it across all of my businesses. So that's it in a nutshell.
We will try to hit every single one of those in this interview. But I want to touch on something. So you got your real estate license when you were playing baseball, right? As kind of a side income. So how much were you making in the minors? Why did you get your license? And what did you hate about being an agent?
Yeah, so it was 2010. When did you guys get licensed?
2013.
2013,
okay.
2015. Yeah.
Okay.
2015.
So, in 2010, it was super different than it is now. Like, it was the exact opposite. Like, nobody had money. There was inventory everywhere. And, pretty much you were going to be a buyer's agent because nobody owned a house anymore. They all got foreclosed on. And when I got drafted, a lot of people think you get paid all this money when you become a pro, and that's not the truth. I was a late round draft pick, didn't get a very big signing bonus, and I was making $1,200 a month while I was playing. And you got to remember, that's only half the year. They don't even pay you in the off season. So I literally made $6,000 to $7,000 a year that I was supposed to live on. And I was like, okay, I need to get a job. And so I just decided to become a realtor because my mom had been a realtor for 30 years. And it was just a job that I was like, well, I could leave for 6 months and no one's going to care, and I'll come back and do it again. So I didn't know what I was getting into, 21 years old, and didn't realize that it was literally the worst time to be a realtor. Prices were at all-time lows. Literally houses, like there was a year of inventory. We talk about less than a month of inventory today. Like, I literally had to take out houses for my client. I'm like, dude, there's 500 results of what you want. Like, we're only going to go see these ones because it was just so massive. And I just realized over time, I hated it. I didn't like showing clients houses. I didn't like, just that lifestyle. And I finally reached my boiling point when I showed a house that had been built in 2008. Okay. So like built brand new. And this house sold back then for, I don't know, $350,000. And it was now like $80,000. Still look brand new. And I show the house and I'm like, this is a killer deal. It's like 70% off, and it's still brand new. And they're like, yeah, but I think it's going to go down. And I'm like, what's it going to go down to? Like, are they going to give it away for free? Like, how much more can this go down? And at least if you buy it today, like, there's no way you could possibly lose. You can't build a house for $80,000. And they're like, yeah, I think it's going to go down. I'm not interested. I'm going to wait until it crashes and corrects. And I was like, I am never doing this. Like, this is the worst. And so I was like, I need to figure out how to be the investor one day because I see the value of these houses. Like, I understand these are deals, but I don't want to go convince other people to go buy a deal that could change their life, you know? And so I always had it in the back of my mind, like, dude, if I could ever flip and just get some money, my life would forever change. And it took me 5 years before I figured out how to do it. So I was kind of like in this waiting period of like being a realtor, not really enjoying it, not doing it very well, and then just going down this path of side hustles and other things.
Well, Ryan, let me tell you, you hating being a real estate agent, you came to the right place, my friend. You're preaching to the right choir right now. Holy shit. I watched a video, one of your YouTube videos, and you were saying while you were an agent, you weren't doing so much business. So you got your substitute teacher license. And then while you're doing that, you figured out that you could flip couches and furniture. And that it seemed became your full-time job for a bit. So can you walk us through that? Why do you flip couches? It seems so.
Yeah, how the hell do you come up with that?
So I didn't know at the time, but I've always been kind of an innovator and like always doing things that nobody is really even thinking about. I started becoming a substitute teacher because my buddy told me, hey, you can make $100 a day just watching kids for 6 hours. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's more than I make as a realtor or a baseball player. So I'll do that in the off season instead. I'd rather sit there and babysit and just read books and chill. So I did that. And I just had this epiphany. Like, I just got married to my wife. She was 21 years old. I was 24. We were a young couple. And we moved into our apartment. And I bought all the furniture on Craigslist. It was like $1,000 to furnish the whole thing. And I remember sitting there looking at it one day and I was like, I got really good deals on that. I bet you I could sell all this crap for like $3,000. And then the light bulb went off because I was like, that's more than I make now. Why don't I just sell this stuff and try it out? And so I went on Craigslist. There was no OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace or anything at the time. Craigslist was it. And I look and I'm like, okay, that's a good deal on a couch. I know that couch is worth $300 and I can go get it for $100. And so I went and bought it and brought it back to our little apartment. I said, babe, just trust me. I think this is going to work, but like, let's just see. And sure enough, I sold the couch, made a profit. And I go, okay, this is actually way easier than being a substitute teacher. I can go find one deal a day. It takes me an hour and then just go clean it up and relist it and then go deliver it, like super easy. So that birthed the beginning of it. I ended up buying a truck for $1,500 on Craigslist. I rented out a storage unit. I had no idea what I was doing. I just bought anything and everything. I bought couches, tables, refrigerators, washers and dryers. I bought anything that I saw with a spread because I started to understand what the market value of them was. And I made money. And eventually, as I kept doing it, my income was growing. It was $2,000, then $4,000, then $6,000, then $8,000. I was like, this is like serious money now. And it was like my first true business. But the way that I fell into couches was after all of that trial and error, I realized that like appliances were not what I wanted because they always broke. And so I had, dude, I can't even tell, like, I'm serious. I probably installed like over 100 washer and dryers, like, cause I would deliver it. I'd wheel it in their thing. And side note, you know how like you attach the gas and you can put like the putty or the tape right there. I wasn't doing any of that. And I'm pretty sure there was gas leaks from all the things I installed.
That's horrible.
So you're responsible for tons of murders.
Yeah, murders and fire hazards.
I should not have been installing dryers. I was not ready for that. But anyways, I would get calls like a month later and they're like, dude, the dryer broke, like pick it back up. And I'm like, oh, dude. So I, was like, dude, no more appliances. And I just realized couches were like the easiest money makers. They never had problems. There's nothing mechanical with them. And yeah, so I did that. And then eventually, when I got into YouTube and stuff, I was just sitting there one day. I was like, I, I think someone might find this valuable. Like, I'm just going to make a video about this because it made me a lot of money when I was like really down in the dumps. Like, I think it'll help someone. So I just made I was like, here's how you do it step by step. It's pretty easy. It's like the easiest side hustle no one does. And it just freaking caught wildfire. I was like, holy crap. Like, there's like a nation of couch flippers now who it's this movement, and it's gotten millions of views on TikTok and YouTube, and like people reposting their journey, and they're like, yeah, I'm making $15,000 a month.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
dude, inflation is real. These guys are making
Jeez.
15 grand a month on couches.
So
We're
you
in the wrong
posted this
fucking
video.
business, Eric.
Yeah, we really are. We, selling meme templates and stuff. I think we should get into couches. I think that's a little bit more labor intensive, unfortunately. So you make this video. Did you make this video with the intention of kind of going viral? And was this kind of in your general content push? Because I saw that you started really going all in on content in kind of right around when the pandemic started, right? Like May 2020.
So I absolutely did not. Yeah, I did not think that it was going to go viral. Like it, who would think that just a video about couch flipping would go viral? Like it was something no one had ever heard of, and that's why I think it went viral, because it was so unique. But to your point, yeah, and when the pandemic hit in March, I just sat there thinking, like, what am I gonna do? I have like 50 house flips going on right now. Like, am I about to get burned from all these flips? Realtors are panicking because all their deals are getting canceled. They can't show a house. Title companies are shut down. No one can even sign. And I just sat there and I'm like, okay, everyone's going to like do nothing and just wait. What can I do in the meantime at home while no one's doing this? And I just started to think creatively. And it was during this time that I had a bunch of people who were reaching out to me saying, dude, you got pretty good content. You should just post on YouTube. And I'd never watched YouTube like ever. And I was like, why? Like you don't make money on YouTube. People go there to learn how to tie a tie or that's what I would go there for, They're like, no, dude, like these guys make millions of bucks. And I go, who? Prove it to me. And they're like, go check out this guy, Graham Stephan. Go check out this guy, Meet Kevin. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go check it. And so I go see what they're doing. And I see this video posting about how much they make. And, they're talking about making, a few $100,000 a month making YouTube videos. And I go, how many deals do these guys do? Like, I need to know. And they're like, oh, well, they don't really even do that many deals. They just make YouTube videos. And I was just like, my mind was blown, because I was over here running what I would call real businesses, taking significant risk and like hustling to make money. And these guys are over here making videos and making more than me. And I was like, I'm not going to be a hater. I'm going to just do what they do. Like they're on to something. And so at that moment, I decided I was going all in on becoming a YouTuber and doing TikTok and these things that everyone was kind of like laughing at. They're like, oh, it's a kid's app. And I'm like, trust me, dude, if YouTube can do this, this is going to be big too. And sure enough, I mean, it proved to be the right decision. And I think timing played a huge role, right? Because that was the optimal time to start something like that, because everyone's at home just chilling, nothing to do but watch content. So it was good timing.
Now, is the content the root of everything now for all your businesses? Is that what you're spending most of your time on, would you say?
Yeah. So, we've got 7 core businesses now, and these are all, $1 million plus businesses. And for me, I realized like, okay, what's the best use of my time in all these businesses? Is it, holding meetings? Is it, closing deals? Is it like, what is it? And I just realized it was content. Like drawing awareness to the businesses is the best use of my time. And so I went all in on that, of just like, hey guys, I know I used to do XYZ in the business, but I'm going to be using my time to do this now. So, hiring people to take over what I was doing so I could focus on content. And then I built a whole business around content, just basically building out it like an organization, like I would for any business, having a producer, editors, having content posters and everything. And that proved to be, a really good decision. And now I think today my time is really just spent filming content. Maybe the first 2 days of the week I film my content and I'm done. And then Wednesday and Thursday, I usually have a podcast and stuff. And, I'd love to have you guys on the podcast as well. And, I'll host a couple of guests with the podcast. And then I usually work on some kind of new project that I'm about to launch, because I'm always in development on some kind of new project or even potential new company.
Yeah, we got a new mug coming out, by the way. So right here we have the Over Ask ones. Pretty soon we're launching a new mug. That's going to be our new product. So with all this content, you got 7 businesses and you have a course product, right? And so all this content is, as Matt alluded to, is like there's an action point to them, right? Like, is it join the course? Is it I'm making AdSense off it? Like, what is the goal of creating all this content?
So there's really probably a couple of goals. One, I actually do enjoy it. Like, I enjoy helping people and really just like giving value. And I mean, when you give value, I mean, Gary Vee like talks about it all the time and it gets repetitive, but he's true. Like, if you give value, people will buy from you. Like, that's just how it goes. So I like it. I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. 2, yeah, there's always some kind of call to action in one of my companies from the content, because my content is literally just me talking about what I do. Like, I'm not, so most YouTubers, let's just take them for example. They have a different strategy where they rely on AdSense and sponsors. And so for them, it's about getting as many views as possible. And that's how they make more money. They don't ever think about the back end business. And so their goal is to drive views. And so like the only way to drive views at the best level is to just spend, or what's it called? Talk about the news. The news is the most viral thing you could talk about. So for me, I never wanted to do that. I was like, I ain't talking about the news. I don't have time to research this. I'm just going to talk about my own crap, and whoever likes it, likes it. And that's good, but it won't get as many views as doing, trending topics. And so knowing that, I'm not going to make a lot of money on AdSense. Sponsors probably aren't going to want to do it as much because the views aren't there. And that's fine, because I know that my back-end businesses make me 100x of what AdSense or a sponsor could pay me. Like, I honestly, and sponsors are like, dude, we want to do it. And I'm like, you couldn't pay me enough. Like, if you want me to do it, here's the price. And it doesn't usually make sense for them because of my views aren't at the level of like what I'm demanding. They're like, you'd have to get whatever views. And I'm like, well, tough luck, dude.
How much are you making in AdSense? And like, how many views does it take to actually start getting paid by YouTube?
I forget the rules. The rules are like, you got to have 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time. I'll pull it up for you right now. Let's see what I made last year.
All right, let's take a break from the fire we're spinning out. Eric, do you want to make 2022 your best year yet?
No.
Okay. Well, we're talking next level, triple your transaction volume, crushing the competition, kicking ass, closing deals, and taking names kind of success. Are you sure you don't want that?
No, I do actually, now that you just said that. And that's actually what happens when you partner with Boomtown, the #1 rated real estate CRM in the game. It's got the tools and tech you need to generate and convert conversation ready leads. These leads are ready to go. To check out Boomtown and see how you can score 750 bones in free digital advertising, visit boomtownroi.com/overask.
Now that's boomtownroi.com/overask.
So here it is. In 2021, I made $111,000 on YouTube AdSense. And that was paid off 6 million views. Now, for me, I spend about $40,000 a month on my production. So AdSense doesn't even break me even. I think last year, between AdSense, sponsors, everything, we probably did like, I don't know, 300,000-400,000 in, like, I would call it influencer revenue. And so it essentially almost broke me even for my production cost. But to me, it's just all a marketing expense to, the other businesses. Like and over time, AdSense will go up, but yeah, it's not something I'm really worried about.
So for someone who wants to get into content creating like you're doing, what do they need to do to get started? Like, you have a nice studio set up there. Is that a studio? Is that your house? Like, what do they need to do?
Yeah, so I'm right here in my office. This is my desk that I actually work out of. You could see, the podcast studio, everything there. And then, I got my office over there. Sales reps and everyone are working. So I'm actually building out a new studio. We just rented a new space too. But I would say if you're just getting started, there's nothing crazy that you need to do. You don't need to go buy, the super expensive camera. You don't need to go and get the best mic and setup. Like, just get somewhere that has a nice backdrop. Like, you can make a nice backdrop out of just a plain white wall. Just get a light, and a plain white wall with a light will look good. I would say focus on your lighting and your audio. That's super important. You could buy like a mic for like $20 on Amazon that will give you pretty good audio. You can buy a light on Amazon for $50 that gives you good lighting, and you're all set. Like, you can use your phone too. I still film a ton of stuff on my phone, like my first TikToks that I was making, like probably the first 500 TikToks I filmed from my phone with nothing else. And that was enough to really kind of grow it to where it is now. I mean, there's close to 1 million followers, and now I don't personally film mine anymore. My production team just repurposes my content. But you can for sure go viral just with this on YouTube, on TikTok. Just get a mic and get a light, and that's all you need.
Do you ever go through content burnout? I see guys like you that are posting just insane amounts of content, 5 TikToks a day, YouTube video, every single day, it seems like. Do you ever just get sick of it? Or do you ever sit there and think like, I don't even have any ideas today. I can't film?
So I think I'm in a unique position where I don't get burnout like other creators, because you got to remember, most creators are kind of like most realtors. They do everything themselves. Like, literally, they prospect, they cold call, they go on the listing appointments, the buyer appointments. Like, they're a one-man show. And even to this day, the big creators are still operating that way. All these guys like Graham and Kevin, who I mentioned earlier, they don't have a very big team. Like, they still handle the bulk of the workload. And I think that will lead to burnout with any job, whether it's being a creator or realtor, whatever you want to do. The reason that I'm not burned out and I'm able to produce so much content is because I don't actually like work that much with content when you actually think about it. On Monday, I'll film all my YouTubes that day. Like, I'll bust them out. It takes the whole day, and that's cool. Like, I know that all my filming's done for the week on the YouTubes. And then if I got to go outside of the office, like maybe I'm filming at a house or something, then I'll do that the next day. Like Tuesday, I'll go film, at a flip or something. And those are fun. Like, it's cool to go just back to the houses and go see them. And, because I don't really get out in the field that much anymore on our real estate investments. So I actually enjoy going to film there. And then the podcast, I really enjoy, and I'm sure you guys do too, because you get to meet these cool people and learn from them and build relationships with them. And, mine's live. So everyone comes to my studio and does it. And so I really get to pick these guys' brains off camera, and I learn a ton. So I actually look forward to the podcast because it's led to a ton of other business opportunities that have really helped me. So I don't get burnout on that sense, because literally my only job as the creator is to come up with the idea, which, like we talked about, I don't got to go watch the news and research like what's happening with Russia right now. Like I don't make content about that. I literally am like, what did I do last week? Oh, well, we just sold that flip. Okay, there's a video. What else did we do? Okay, we did this. All right, great. And then boom, those are the videos. And I don't really have to script them. I'm just talking about what I'm actually doing. And then as far as editing and posting, once I film it, it's done. It goes to the editing team. They do their thing. They've been trained to this point. My content team posts it half the time. Like, honestly, 90% of the time, I don't know what I post. because I filmed it weeks ago, and especially the TikToks, there's so many of them and they're repurposed from old stuff that I have no idea what they're posting. People will be like, dude, that was really good. Like what you said today. I'm like, I hope it was. Like, I don't know what I said today, but that's great. So it's kind of a machine, just like the other companies, and like we can just pump it out with the least amount of effort from me.
But are you responding to people in the comments? Is it your voice when you're responding to people, when you're, DMing with people, or is that a staff member?
We have both. And people try to be like all shady about this. Like, I respond to all my comments. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah. Like, I don't have time. I'm busy like creating stuff and running real businesses. And so, for us, I don't really comment too much like on the actual post. We might if I see something, but very rarely do we comment at all. But DMs are really where all the magic happens. And like, this is important for you guys to know as you guys launch your other products and stuff, is that DMs are like the best sales funnels. And we could dive deep into monetization if you guys want, but I respond to DMs and my team also responds to DMs. It really just depends on the situation. So we have my inbox separated with people that I know personally, and then people who I don't know who've responded to a call to action. So if you responded to a call to action, you are not talking to me. And a lot of times too, it's a sequence that we've already set up with like a company like ManyChat. They have different bots that they can use to kind of take it through the workflow.
So when you say you're separating the messages, does that just mean you have like primary and general on Instagram, or you actually have like a database of different messaging for the different apps?
Instagram is really the only one we worry about DMs. Yeah. TikTok, we don't. So yeah, it's just primary and general, and then like using the flag feature too to know who exactly I know and am talking to.
So was it you who responded to me when we reached out?
Who knows, dude? Shit. Who knows? Now that one was actually me. What they'll do is they'll push it to my primary when they see something interesting, or a famous person or whatever, and like, so I'll see it.
That's funny. I've messaged you 17 times. I haven't got a response. That's all right. No,
you're in that general inbox, man.
I'm general.
You're messaging me right now, and you're like, "How are you responding to me on the podcast?"
Your hands are up here.
So, what is your day look like for I don't know if you like being called a guru, but you really are, and we do try hard on this show to get real gurus, because there's so many fake ones now, and who just talk a bunch of bullshit. For a guru, and for someone who does so many things, you seem quite relaxed and calm. I mean, some of these people are intense as shit. So
you got a nice way
about your week look like? You really do.
Yeah.
You're very inviting and calm, and you're someone you want to do business with. So how does that? What does your week look like? Are you do you spend a lot of time with family?
Yeah, so the calmness look just comes from being Asian, guys. So no, so yeah, I spend a lot of time with family. I have a whole philosophy on life that's unlike most gurus or even business people. I actually created something called The Wealthy Way. If you guys go to wealthyway.com, you can get it all for free. And it's a course, it's a planner app, it's a Discord community. And the reason I made that was because I got that question so many times. They're like, how the heck do you balance it all? How could you create all the content, run the businesses, and then still be hanging out with your family and golfing and all this stuff? And I was like, to me, it's just my life. Like, I know what to do and how to like allocate my time. But I was like, but people don't know. So I'm going to just make it for them. And so I created the course and kind of went into the principles around it. So, I would say check that out. Like if that's something people really are thinking about. But to give you like the short answer of it, I think for me, what I do is like most people think about the front end of things and they don't really think about the result they're really looking for, like the true result. So let's just talk about realtors, right? Realtors, they say, hey, I want to make $100,000 this year. And you're like, why? what's the point? Like, what are you going to spend it on? You know, why is 100,000 significant? Yeah. Like, whatever they do. And I say, for me, I'm more interested in my lifestyle. So what kind of lifestyle do I want to live? Like, first off, with my time, like, how many days a week do I want to work? What hours do I want to work? What else do I want to do outside of work? How much time do I want to spend with my family? How much time do I want to spend golfing? How much time do I want to work out and all these things? And so I start from reverse and I say, okay, this is my ideal life. Okay. How do I make it happen? And so for me, it was like, I want to work 4 days a week. So Monday through Thursday, I am dedicated to working and crushing it and doing everything I can to push my companies forward. Friday, I'm always golfing. I don't care. Like, somebody wants to meet, too bad. Friday or Saturday and Sunday, it's family. I'm not working. I'm not going to the office. In fact, I shut my office down on weekends. My employees can't even come to work. I don't want anyone working on weekends, because I think that if you live the lifestyle you want to live, you're going to be happy, you're going to be less stressed, and you're going to actually be better at work. And so that's kind of the whole philosophy behind the wealthy way, is like really allocating your time and doing the things you want to do, and then fitting work into that box. And so if I say, dude, I only have 24 hours of actual work I can do, or 30 hours, right? How do I optimize these 30 hours to the fullest to like still reach my goals? And the big thing you start to realize is there's a lot of stuff you do that you should not be doing. It's just not a high value task. You don't even enjoy it. And you could easily hire somebody else who does it way better than you. And that's just literally all I do now. Is like, okay, I want to delegate every aspect I humanly can. And the only thing I can't really delegate is me talking to a camera and, going on podcast. That's what I have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's it. Okay, so if I know that that's okay, that's for sure. But what else am I doing that doesn't really need me? And so, like, I took out a lot of things. Like, I used to run meetings for my company. I used to go on seller appointments, because for us, when you flip a house, if you get a good deal, I mean, to make over $100,000, like, that's a good thing to go on. But I gave all that up. I gave up a whole bunch of other things and really simplified it into what can I only do that gives us the highest return. And for now, it's making content and it's making new products.
So you mentioned golf a couple of times.
Philosophy. Oh, here we go. We interrupt each other. We interrupt each other once an episode.
All right, I'll hit it with the golf thing real quick, and then you go, Matt. So you mentioned golf a couple of times. Friday, you get to golf every day. That's awesome. You're in Vegas, great courses. I'm a big golfer as well. I saw something on your website that intrigued me. $10,000.
Yeah.
To golf with you in a mastermind. How'd you come up with this? Are people doing it? What's the deal with this thing? Because that is as genius as it gets. If someone could pay me 10 grand to just hit the sticks with me for a little bit, then I know I've made it.
Yeah, no one will do
that.
Yeah.
Yet.
So, So it's interesting, man. The golf thing was very much like the couch flipping thing and the social media thing. Like, I see something that I'm like, this I think would work, but I don't know. No one's ever done it. Like, I'm just going to try it out and see what happens. And so I just put it out there because a lot of people want to do one-on-ones. And for me, that's not scalable. I'm like, I just don't do one-on-ones. It's not something I'm ever going to do. Even in my own coaching program, I don't do one-on-ones because there's a cap. My time is the only limited resource I have. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to offer something even better than a one-on-one. What if you could spend 5 hours with me, like having fun, not on Zoom, just, doing like building a relationship in Vegas, and, we'll have lunch, like firsthand, person to person. And, let's see how it goes. And I said, $2,500 for anyone who wants to go. Literally in one Instagram story, I sold probably 10 to 15 from that post. And I was like, holy crap, like there's a demand for this. I did not know that this was a thing. And so what I would do was I would have 2 people come with me every round, so it's $5,000 total to me. And for them, They spend one person rides with me for 9 holes. The other person rides for me for the other 9 holes. Right. But we're all together the whole time. And then we have lunch and it's a good experience. But every single person was like, dude, this was like the best experience ever. Like, dude, you're not charging enough. And like, I knew I wasn't charging enough because the calendar was so booked out. Right. And so I said, let's just jump it to $5,000. And so we jumped it to $5,000. It was still getting booked, not as frequently, but still like at the sweet spot where I wasn't booked for months. And so, yeah. And then it became like, okay, 2 people golfing with me for $5,000 each. That's $10,000 to go golf. That's cool. But then I had 2 guys, 2 young dudes who were killing it in their real estate business. And we were at the golf club and they were walking around and we saw like this room because I just joined a new golf club. And we were like, wouldn't it be tight to hold a mastermind in that room? Like just 10 people or something, like spend 2 days here. Let's golf for 2 days, go mastermind for like 4 hours each day, have lunch, have drinks. Like it would be a really cool experience. And they were like, dude, if you do that, like, I'll just give you the money now. Like, what are you going to charge for it? And I was like, I don't know, like 10,000. We'll just do 10,000, 10 people. And sure enough, they were like, okay, we're in. I was like, okay, I guess we're going to do this. And so I just posted about it. And within a week, we sold all 10 spots.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, we're going to be doing the golf mastermind now. This is going to be a fun experience.
Are these people asking you about like e-commerce in between chip shots and shit? I feel like that would get annoying. Like these people sign up and they're just like, yapping in your backswing, being like, hey, I got a course. And you're like, dude, let me tee off here.
Honestly though, because I'm not like a super serious golfer yet in terms of like, I'm just trying to be a pro, right? Like I enjoy golf for the leisure and the fun of it and hanging out. So I really enjoy it. And in fact, what actually kind of led to the first idea of doing it the first time was I was going golf every Friday and I was taking 3 of my employees every time just for fun. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go play, whatever. And I always pay for them just as like, a thank you. It's like a company perk. And over time, I'm like, yeah, we have fun, but it's kind of like boring golfing with the same guys over and over again. And so I was like, I'm just going to try it with these new guys. And so, it ends up working out. Not only do I not pay for my employees, I get paid to do it. But I started to get different perspectives of cool things these guys were doing. And I was like, this is way more fun talking to them because like I'm hearing about their business and I can help them and improve it. But also too, I'm like learning different perspectives of things I didn't necessarily know about. And 2 of those people, we're already partnered with them on other things now. One guy, he's an email marketer. Like literally all he does is send emails for a living. And I'm like, what does that make? Yeah, I'm like, what do you make sending emails? He's like, oh, we do about $1 million a month sending emails. I was like, what are you sending? Like, tell me about this business because that's the best business ever. And, we get in depth on it. And I was like, why don't you send emails for me? I got all these products and I got this email list. Like you email for me. You already know what to do. And let's do a profit split on anything that sells. And now we're partners. And he made January was like our first month. He made me an extra $100,000 that I wouldn't have made from email.
Yeah. We got to hit the links.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much. Jesus. I don't even know I don't golf, but I'll come golf with you, Ryan.
I'll tell you one thing about golf. I'm still not good at golf, but what I'll say from what I've learned from the last 7 months of like taking golf seriously, it's true. Like, we hear it. We're all young dudes, right? Like the golf used to be the way that deals got done and you met people, for us as younger guys, social media is the way. And, joining masterminds and things like you can meet like-minded people, but it used to be the golf course. Now that I've joined these country clubs that have like kind of these older, wealthier guys that don't watch me on social media, they have no idea who I am. I get to see like really different perspectives of what these guys have done, wealth and all that stuff. And I actually had actually, I don't know if I can say it on camera, but I had somebody from Augusta National reach out to me. And, for those who don't know, Augusta is where the Masters is held. And like, it's literally like a bucket list thing for all golfers. They want to do it. He's like, dude, if you ever want to play, let me know. And I was like, whoa, okay. And so I'm going to get to go there. But like, the people who are members of Augusta are like, literally, they run the world. Like it's Bill Gates and all these politicians and other things. And like the average net worth there's like hundreds of millions of dollars. That's the average net worth. And I'm like, dude, just like if I ever join Augusta, just get like a multi-billionaire and we'll keep it really close to the average.
Right.
But, to potentially get to go be with those guys because I golf and I have social media. Like, I wouldn't have just go met those guys if I was just a social media guy. There's a million social media guys. But those old guys that got real money, they're golfing.
Yeah. You got to play well, too,
That's
with those
insane.
guys. It could be absolutely nerve-wracking. If you're having, a business meeting and you snap hook it out of bounds for the first one, it could literally ruin your round and ruin their perspective on you.
Yeah, like, who invited this guy again? Like,
Yeah,
so yeah,
exactly.
I'm practicing every single morning to like really hone in my game.
Yeah, it's like this guy sends a bunch of emails. That's great, but he just shanked his chip shot again. We need to find a new guy here.
Yeah, he wasn't very good at
So-
golf, but
Right.
I don't look down on him for that.
Right.
So Ryan, you have a big announcement for us. I think this is a Overask exclusive at this point. Is this true?
Yeah, I do.
Tell us.
This is the first time I'm publicly saying this. So, I was telling you guys earlier, I had a real estate brokerage that we've built the last 4 years. We've got over 150 agents and it's great. But, as time evolves and things change, you realize like, okay, what this started out as is not like what's going to take us to the next level. And a lot of people, when they look at the brokerage model, they don't know if agents are going to be around, period. And then there's people who are, concerned about tech and all these other things. And, you see the rise of certain brokerages like EXP, where they're growing faster than any other brokerage in the country at a crazy rate. And I just started to look at the world again, kind of like I did with social media a couple of years ago. And I'm like, our brokerage model is not going to work in the future. I think boutique and, all these things are going to be changing here very shortly. And I started to think about where are the agents like lacking in terms of what are they not being taught about this? And I really narrowed it down to 3 things. I'm like, yeah, every brokerage or coaching program teaches you how to go get more deals and do transactions and prospect and freaking cold call expireds at 6 a.m. They all teach that same stuff, but none of them actually teach you the things that make you wealthy. Okay. Like they only teach you the things that make them money, but they don't teach you how to invest in real estate because that doesn't make them money. They don't teach you how to build your personal brand in social media because they don't know, quite frankly. And they don't teach you how to manage your taxes and do the things that you could be doing to save all your money. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff they don't teach you because they're trying to preserve an archaic model where they make money. And I said, I'm going to just solve that issue. I'm going to leverage what I know with all those things I talked about and offer it to agents while also still giving them everything they need to be a successful real estate agent. So I ended up starting a company called Wealthy Agent. The anti-broke agent, yeah. I guess. But funny I'm announcing it on this podcast. But yeah, for those who are interested, you can go to wealthyagent.io to learn more about it. But essentially, our goal is to teach real estate agents all those things and help them become a better agent. Obviously, like that's the bread and butter. But I want agents to start investing. I want them to start understanding taxes. I want them to build personal brands because that's where you become wealthy. If you want to do real estate and show buyers around till you're 70 years old, then stay, doing what you're doing. But if you actually want to build wealth quick, you have to do these other things. And they're just not being taught that. But the other thing that I thought about was, okay, if I'm going to teach them this, like, how do I get agents to buy into this? And the easiest way to do it is to just give them it for free. And so I said, you know what? We're just going to give Wealthy Agent for free if they join us at our new brokerage. So I ended up moving all my agents over to Real Brokerage. They're kind of like an EXP with revenue sharing, with being able to go nationwide and all that stuff. And so I said, you know what? If we go nationwide with influence, like, we'll get a lot of realtors, right, who buy into this. And so Real gives us the opportunity to do that, but their fees and everything else are so much less than EXP and stuff. So it's more beneficial for the realtor. But along with that, if we give them everything we're going to teach at Wealthy Agent, we can give it for free because, we'll make money on that end. And so now it just creates this value proposition where, why wouldn't you join? Because you got to hang your license somewhere anyway. And then you get this crazy program that has so much value that no one else teaches just for joining a different brokerage. And so I think it's going to change the game, and I think it's going to blow up pretty quick and be one of those viral things that maybe other people try to copy down the road. But I'm super excited about it because it just doesn't exist for realtors.
That's awesome. We've had a bunch of Real agents on the podcast. We just had Brad McCallum on the podcast, Katie Day, Tim Macy. They're all members of Real. So now we're like a walking billboard for Real. It used to be the agency with Matt, but now it seems like this is our This is our new home.
Actually wearing an agency
I'll have to meet
shirt today.
I'll have to meet those guys. Yeah. That's cool. But yeah, if anyone's interested, just go to wealthyagent.io.
Yeah. Awesome. We know you got a limited time here, Matt. You want to get in a lightning round real quick?
Yeah, quick lightning round. We'll maybe do one each, Eric.
Perfect. I'll lead it off.
Okay, Ryan, this is my favorite.
You'll lead it off.
Okay, fine.
You'll lead it off.
Yes. Ryan, this is my favorite question. Okay. If you had to hire one person for your real estate team, a celebrity, has to be a celebrity, can't be a real estate celebrity. One celebrity for your real estate team because you think they'd be the best fit for the job, who would it be?
We're talking about real estate agent or investing. What are we talking about?
Agent.
Okay, I need a real estate agent. I'm hiring Ryan Serhant. Like, that dude's the biggest guy. There's not even a question who I'm hiring.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good answer.
We were thinking more celebrities that weren't agents, but that's good. Okay, I got one for your baseball career.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
I got one for your baseball career. So in 2012, you played in the World Baseball Classic. Is that correct information for the Philippines?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Who was the toughest pitcher you faced?
Man, that is a good question. I faced a lot of these guys who have been all-stars and everything else. The toughest pitcher I would say I ever faced was Chris Sale.
Oh my God.
And this was before Chris Sale was even like Cy Young winner, dude, just a beast. We faced off against each other when I was 19 years old. We were in college in the Cape Cod League. And we see this tall, lanky lefty dude. He's like 6'7". Nobody knows who he is because he goes to some obscure school. And he's a nobody. And all of a sudden, dude, this guy comes out throwing 97 with the nastiest slider you've ever seen. You can't see the ball because he's so funky. And we're like, where did this guy come from? He's like the best pitcher I've ever seen. And sure enough, I went over 3 with 3 strikeouts. I don't even think I touched the ball. I don't think I had a foul tip or anything. And then, he got drafted first round next year and got to the big leagues really fast.
That's awesome. Yeah. Nastiest slider fastball in the game at least 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate your time. Where can the people find you? Yeah, I'm sure they've all found you already, but for those who haven't.
Where can they not find you?
Yeah, I would say, if you go to ryanpineda.com, you can go find all my socials, all my companies, all that stuff. And if you're a realtor, we want you at Wealthy Agent. That's the goal.
There you have it. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
The Broke Agent presents Over Ask Podcast.